everyone to another video in our Bryan Fundamental series where I try to get better at Bryan day by day and bring you along for the ride. So this is the next part of our revisiting of Lars for labbing, and we're going to be covering together his silent entry. So just like last time, the first thing that I want to do is that I would like to go through his moves that give us silent entry and go through each of his moves in silent entry and go from there. So because of that, I'm going to write them all down and then we will go from there. But the typical idea, since this is a stance and essentially we're trying to learn how the silent entry works, we're going to start by looking at all the moves that are in silent entry just to see everything that he has and kind of like get down what he can do. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to find all of the moves that go into silent entry to learn what are the mind games around it. And then from there, we're going to try and put two and two together and come up with like some drills and some like ideas of how we're going to practice that to come down, like to kind of break things down into maybe a situation that's like, oh, you know, maybe this is a situation where you can sidestep everything, or maybe this is a situation where the only real 50-50 is sidestep or block or something like that. Get it down to a 50-50 and knowing what are the options that make the most sense for us to do in those situations so that we can set up drills to practice reacting with those correct reactions when we're in a real match. So with that being said, I have notes on the side. We're going to first start off by just getting in all of the moves that are shown here, and then we will try them ourselves in order to better remember how they work. And then if you do silent entry, I'm just going to say send back, and this is dynamic entry, and this is actually din transition, I guess. And then and then the manual, I'm going to put manual, let's see, din 1 forward, din forward is send transition. So just kind of learning what is the flow of this character, and then reminding ourselves dynamic entry is forward 3. C. Shift to dynamic entry. Yeah, forward 3. Okay, so cool. So this is dynamic entry, right? He goes into this, he has a lot of pretty good moves, like he has this one, and he has the kind of infamous dynamic entry 3. And this puts him into silent entry, actually. But you can also just, if your opponent is respecting your dynamic entry, you can do another forward to put yourself into silent entry. This is kind of what we're learning, and this basically just means that if our opponent gets us blocking on their dynamic entry, they can start going into silent entry and doing stronger moves, from what I understand. In addition to this, it looks like he can kind of go into silent entry and then back out, which is the same thing he can do with his dynamic entry. So in both of these situations, he's essentially got a tempo type of situation. So see how he does dynamic entry 1. He can also do dynamic entry, go back and do it again. That's the same one. If he goes into silent entry, he can go back and do the same one. See, so that's like the start. It's like he's got a little bit of that. So the next thing is let's figure out what each of these buttons do. So this is silent entry 1. This is a 12 frame, I-12 mid, and it's -6 on block, so -6 on block. And then what happens on hit? Heat engage on hit. Heat engage on hit. Okay. Now we have 2. This is a low, and it is a I-17 low. -12 on block, so that's already not that great for Bryan. We only get a knee. And then on hit, it's +6 on hit. Do they have a counter hit? I'm gonna have to turn on counter hit for this. Yes, launch on counter hit. Okay. The next one is silent entry 3. So we're gonna check the counter hit, I guess, second. So okay, so this is just a launcher, it looks like. It's minus 13. It's a hop kick, sort of. I-14. This is actually kind of interesting because I thought this move was launchable, but I guess it's not. So minus 13 on block. On hit, I'm guessing it's gonna just do a clean launch. Something like that. And then I'm gonna make sure that the counter hit doesn't do anything different, but I would imagine it's the same. Same deal. Okay. So launch on hit. Then we have silent entry 4, which is a tracking high. This is also I-17, so this is kind of interesting. This looks like just knockdown on hit, and then, oops, and then +4 on block. So +4 on block. This is pretty good. Knockdown on hit, tracking. And then we have, so this is already like an interesting option that he has, because this means that we're probably dealing with a situation where he can essentially, we can step the other options, but we'll get locked down by that that tracking high. Okay, now we have 1 + 2. 1 + 2 is a power crush from what I'm seeing. It is I-14, I-14 mid, right? And then minus 13 on block, on hit, knock down, on counter hit. Knock down. Also double checking. Also just knock down. Okay. Knock down on hit. And this is power crush. PC for power crush. Now we have, this is his knockdown. This is one you see a lot in his after dynamic entry 3. So it's 13 frames. It's a little bit quick, but you see that 13 come out mid. And then let's see, on block, 0 on block, as I expected. Knockdown on hit. Force crush. And then finally, and that's it. That's all he's got in silent entry, but he already kind of has a lot of stuff covered at this point. So that's pretty interesting. This is about what I expected, because this is a situation, see, this one, you are +5, which means he can do this, and it's a frame trap, right? He could do, he could also do 3 if he wanted to, actually. Right? This could also just launch you if you choose to mash, which is pretty scary, which I think why they tend to do this, because it's like a relatively safe, it's the safest option they've got. And then it leaves you crouching and 0. Now, is he crouching? No. So he's standing. So the thing is, right? The thing is, let's talk about silent entry 3 + 4 first, because this is the move that is the most common situation you find yourself in online when they do this. And then, in addition to that, you are, like, for Bryan, this is an okay situation, right? Like, we're in a situation where, like, if he tries to, like, let's talk through a few of these situations. Like, let's go, let's record this, right? And I'll do one like that, and then I'll do another version. What else is something, like, big that he can do? Like, what's a launch that he's got from standing? Like, because he doesn't have a traditional down forward 2. Maybe this? That's pretty scary, though. we'll do this because this is something that catches you crouching, right? So we'll do that version. Like that. Something like that, right? So if you look at the first one, this is basically... Like if I do a while standing 3 there, I get caught because I'm 0. But if I do this, that knocks him down, see? Now, the one thing I want to check is, does this work? What happens if it's just a single jab? Like that. Oh, I probably should re-record it and like actually blocks too. Like that. In this situation, it still hits him, but it doesn't knock him down. See that? But the thing is, like, the sort of... The reward of this is that on counter hit is natural, right? So we do get this. So that would be a reason for them to do it. But then we can get this. So this is... I think that, for starters... 3+4 situation for us is not that scary because Bryan's already scary when he's crouching at 0. And so I'm a little bit less, like, I think knowing that alone, we're not as afraid of being in this situation, right? In addition to that, the other thing that I wanted to cover is that another, like, pretty reasonable option is he's got this mid, right? And this will beat us. See, like, if we do Northern Cross, it'll beat us. But we can beat him with a while standing 3. So it's really just like knowing we could treat this like a down back 3 situation. And we can even sidestep. Like sidestep into this. Can I go the other way? No. Interesting. I wonder why that is. I did sidestep though. Can I sidestep the other one? Yeah, you can. So, you see that? And we can't really get a jet up through here. I don't think. No, see, because it catches us. So I do think that we could maybe sidestep to the right there. That's something that I want to explore. But you can see that we're essentially in a pretty strong situation where we're 0 in a crouching state. We already talked about why being -1 in a crouching state is already good for Bryan. So this is actually pretty interesting. Now, the next bit that I want to talk about is, or like go through, is not the tracking of his moves yet, that's fine, but the next thing we want to cover is going to be his actual like moves that transition into silent entry. So let's do those next. So we're going to call these send starters. Silent entry starters. These are all fine. Okay. So let's go to his move list now and go through those. So we're just looking for anything that gives... So he has double barrel. So during dynamic entry, doing dynamic entry 1. Is that what this is? Den 1. Den 1 forward. Which is interesting because he's got Den 1 2, I think. Double barrel. Oh, I see. They're just showing these as stronger versions. You can also have dynamic entry 3. Which we knew about. During silent, nope, that's different. During heat. Oh, okay, so heat, forward, 3+4? Let's see, forward 3+4. I'm gonna put heat like this. And then we have, not that one. Oh, during dynamic entry, 3+4. Okay, so Den 3+4. Forward. Let's see if any of these go to silent entry. I see a lot of them going into limited entry, which we don't know very well, but this one's, okay, here's one. Forward 1, 2. Forward 1, 2, and I'll just put like cancelable, back cancel. So we know that it's not forced. Then you have 4, 2, 1, back cancel. This is also, so down 4, 2, back cancel. So I'm seeing a theme here already with how this character works. Silent entry is cancelable with back if it's in neutral, it seems like. Yep. Oh, here's interesting. Down, back, 2, forward, and then we'll put down, back, 2, 1. Back 3, 4, back 3, forward, back 3, 4. Forward, forward, 2. This one we have to double check though on hit. Have to check that one. So he has a lot of stuff that goes into silent entry, but that's because his silent entry is stronger. We've already kind of established dynamic entry is pretty like, has a lot of, what do you call it, like counterplay to it so far. This one maybe not so much. While running, so we have while running 2, while running 1, back cancel. And then we have while standing, look at this, he has a ton of moves that take him into silent entry. While standing 1 forward, while rising 2, or while standing 2 can do either, actually. That's actually pretty cool. And then we have dynamic entries. So dynamic entry, we did dynamic entry 1 already. We did dynamic entry 3. We also have dynamic entry 3 plus 4 forward. And then we covered the silent entry moves. I guess I'll look at limited entry real quick. Doesn't have anything that shifts him into other stuff, which makes sense. And then that's it. Okay, cool. That's a lot of moves, but let's go through them. So this is, we'll start with dynamic entry, which makes sense. That one's easy. This one we already covered. This is, oh, 4, 3 plus 4 is just, what if he's in heat? Oh, okay. So this is a heat-specific, heat only. Gotcha. Yeah, this is heat only, and it just takes you into it automatically. And then you have, he has this, this low can do it, like that. And then you've got 4, 2, 1. This one's interesting. This is the one that I want to maybe talk about for a second here, because this is in neutral, right? So we'll start with this, with these. So this is, so I-13, and it's high mid. So he's -5 on block. What if he just does he's -8 otherwise, so -5 on block. I'm just gonna put on block for now, because if it's less safe for them not to finish it, then that's something we can keep in mind. Like maybe I'll just put a note here, like cancel equals less safe for Lars. That way it's kind of a little bit clear. And then on hit, +6 on hit, which is pretty scary. And if I cancel it, +3. See? So it's still plus, but it's not as good. 421 is I-12 though. I-12 high. We said +6 on hit. And then we are, what is our block? -5 on block. Pretty easy so far. Pretty straightforward. And then we have down 4-2. That's -3 on block. I-14. So I-14 mid. -3 on block. That one's pretty good. And then we have, what is the next bit? On hit. Whoa. So it's actually a counter hit. So that's something just to keep in mind. But let's turn off the counter hit for a second. +9. +9. So this one might be something to keep in mind if they do that as like their launch, basically. So +9 is scary. What is that? Oh, he's in heat, that's why. How do I take him out of heat? There we go. Yeah, okay. So, and if otherwise it's +1, that's actually kind of crazy. Now we finally have down back 2. It's +3 on hit otherwise, but it's +6 otherwise. This is I-15. I think this is what we're going to start seeing as his punishes. I'm realizing that Lars doesn't have a launcher that I'm aware of. How's it going, Mustafa? At least I don't think he has a regular launcher. And he's also got down back 2-1. So down back 2-1 is just minus, and they're both -8. And he's -5 on block in this transition. So -5 on block, +6 on hit. So we're seeing a lot of +6 on hit, -5 on block for this stuff. And Tekken wise, you uninstalled, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. Ooh, what is this? This is I-17. So, and this has, oh, this is one that we actually want to look into the extension for. So, so this is I-17, mid, high. I'm going to do it like that so that we know that the extension is a mid-high. -12 on hit, but otherwise it's -5. Sorry, -12 on block if they don't transition. And then we have on hit, +11 on hit. So this one's pretty interesting. I think training this one so that we can duck it is actually probably good to like put this into our repertoire. So I'm going to keep that in mind. And then we have, what the hell? Oh, okay. This is a combo starter. What happens on block? Yeah, he doesn't do anything otherwise. So this one I'll get rid of. And then we have wall running 2. Wall running 1 rather. And that's a, is that tracking? Let's record this. It looks like it tracks. Look at that, it looks like it's tracking. And I can't walk around it. I'm trying to walk. Let's see if I can't run him like this. Let's get him further away. This looks like it tracks. Yeah. Yeah, I'm stepping. And it really only misses if it whiffs. So that's actually kind of scary. But it's a wall running 1, tracking high is all that really matters. What happens when he hits us though? And it launches on hit though. Launches on hit, or at least knocks down on hit. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think he can get anything besides maybe a grounded hit. Okay. And then we have while standing 1. Interesting. Notice this can't actually... Doesn't seem like he can do it. Oh! This is just his launcher, so we can take this one out as well. And then we have while standing 2. On hit, you can do it, and you can do it on a block. Huh. Oh, I see. This one's pretty interesting. I'm going to star this one, because if he runs away with dynamic entry, he creates a lot of space. See that? But if he goes forward, he's -5. So I'll put this in there, but I'll put, this is I-13 mid, -5 on block, probably what, like +3 or something, +6 on hit again, so that part's consistent. Den evasion, I'll just put that. So, okay. Alright, so let's talk about the, kind of the interesting thing that you can deal with from Lars now if he's like up in your face like this, right? So let's say he can do this type of stuff, like where he's like, I'm getting into your face, I'm gonna do something, right? These are the types of the moves where I think we need to, I think the math works out for us that there's nothing he can do that we can't beat. And that's where I need to double check, because we need to see if this is beatable. So let's start with that one. So we'll start with that. I know it's -13, but no, that power crushes. And it goes under a jab. And it goes under that. Dang, okay. That's pretty scary. So that means that he can essentially get into that stance with the power crush. But this works. That works. And the thing is, if we do a down back 3, we'll be at +4 for doing this. But let's use another situation and bring another situation into play, which is what happens if he goes back, right? So let's do, we're doing 4, no, we're doing this. Yeah, okay, so, oops. Like that. I wonder if that was too slow. Well, let's do it a little bit faster. Like that. Okay. So I'm a little bit less afraid of that. Do they have, they had one that's a hop kick, right? It's a silent entry 3. I think. That one. So, what about this? Hey, beat it. Nice. So I think I can comfortably say, if we look at his options here, right? Silent entry 1 is just a hit. That's I-12, but anything we're doing, since they're -6, we're only losing to I-10, and they don't have anything like that. So I think down back 3 might be the way here. Because silent entry 1 + 2 is the power crush. 4 is just the tracking high, but it's slow. 3 is the one that would be jumping, but it looks like it's too slow. And then we have 2, which is just a I don't remember what silent entry 2 does, but oh, it's a low. And then we have silent entry 3 plus 4. Oh, we need to check this one, yeah. So, that situation. Can I stop that? No, we can't. Dang it. So, we were so close. I can't even do down back 4, which is fast. That's crazy. We can down jab. That's really disappointing. We can do that. Maybe down jab is all you do. Because what else could I do here? Because this might go under. I was seeing it do that earlier. Yeah, there. See that? Oh! If I do 1, 2, 4, it doesn't work. But if I just do 1, it works? Because the single jab goes further? So you just do 1 jab? Okay, so let's go through the list again. Okay. That worked. And what about this one? That one goes... It crushes the jab, too. Oh my gosh. The only thing that beats it is down jab. We can down forward too, but the problem is that the power crush beats us in that situation. Dang. And even I-12. No, why is that? Because... Wait, that's crazy. Because... Oh, because he's minus... He's minus 5 in the transition, right? That's right. He's plus 6 otherwise, but he's minus 5. He's minus 5 on block, not minus 6, which means even 12, I-12 will trade with it. Okay, so you can see that we're kind of trying to figure this out, but I think. Wow. You really have to be fast. You could do a throw, but I think the throw will get beat by this, I think. Yeah, see. Because that's a good move, no wonder. Okay. So I guess you have to just have to down jab in that situation? Huh. Okay. So let's take some notes on the counterplay, right? I did mecha. You want to see something horrendous? I started with lows. It goes under it. Even if I do down back 4, it goes under it. So there is no option select. And the thing is, I think that this move deserves way more respect because this is the move that sees a lot of play, right? And it doesn't lose to much, even at minus 5. See, the jabs go under it. Like if you are on it, you can't catch them, right? You can catch them with like this, something like that, right? But the jab itself is going to get beat, which is crazy. So it's like, if you really want to count, like, option select everything down jab. And I think that's the start. Like, let's just option select it all and then go from there. This is crazy. So anyway, Lars and counterplay. Down jab, option select. Alright, let's get him to stop doing this. So basically we have down jab as our option select. If we want to, like, down back 3, down back 3. Oh, and we didn't even talk about, what if he does... Okay, if he goes back 2. So, that's great. That's actually good. But, if we do down back 3, down 4, loses to sin. 3 plus 4? Jab loses to sin. 3 plus 4. But down 4-2 floats sin 3 plus 4. So I think this is essentially the game that we're playing. Do you want to down jab? And here's the thing: that can we react to it? Like, can I see him do it? Can I see him do it and then and react to it with a down jab? No. No, we can't. What about lows? You can with lows. But you have to be fast. Yeah, otherwise you can't. So that's also the thing. It's like just not doing anything. Like we just load basically. So I think we could we could down 4, but then we're losing this silent entry 3 plus 4. So I think starting with a down jab maybe makes sense. Though the thing that I'm afraid of, right, is this situation now. Like we don't want to get caught in this situation where they do. Oops. Like that. Oops. Like what happens here? Oh. That's good. Most of the plan should be my idea. Option select most of the options until they show they know the answer, then varied response. Exactly, yeah. The reason I'm like sort of preoccupied, so to speak, with silent entry 3 plus 4 is that this is a very common and popular option, right? I feel like most Lars players love that move, so having something that doesn't lose out of the gate to silent entry 3 plus 4 is good. But I think that, like, starting with either one of these two, basically. You either, so we should just do it like this, basically. So with the -5 transition, you can down jab to option select or down 4-2 to float silent entry 3 plus 4. You also have other options that we can go for, but like, for example, our lows and our jabs. But I think that's the start is my guess. The other thing that I wanted to check is can I step in this situation? I haven't tried that yet. What? That thing tracks. That's crazy. What about this one? Okay, you can step it there. Wow. That's good. So this is... Huh. Wait. That's weird. Maybe I'm timing it wrong? So you really have to, like, to buffer it, basically. And then you can catch it. I wonder if... Okay, so sidestep And then we also, so I'll put sidestep early, buffer, B turn, back turn, 3, 3, 4, 2, versus silent entry 3+4. That's actually a pretty interesting one as well. I want to also look into this situation, which is that one. Oops, I don't mean for him to do the last bit. So let's go with this now. See, I can't step when I'm -5 though, which is kind of crazy. I don't think we have anything because he's +5. Yeah, there's nothing we can do here. Oh shoot! What the? That doesn't even work. What is this? Look at this. My mid power crush. I was like, wait, we have this new toy. That's the most we got. That's crazy. And is it even worth it? Look at how much damage we ate to stop that. See? He dealt a total of like 44 damage to us, or total damage. How do I reset the total damage? But like, do you see how much damage he dealt to us through that sequence? Like 44 damage or something. And then we dealt that much, 12. That's crazy. Yeah, for the wild +2. But this is the part that's breaking my brain. That's crazy. That is wild. Ooh, it worked there. So at the wall it works? That's hilarious. What? What is this game? What is this game? What the hell is going on? Wait, it worked there. But that's wild. What the heck is this character? So, how do I even write that down? I'll just put +5 transition. Block. But, Power Crush whiffs. Except at the wall versus... That's such a weird... That is such a weird interaction. That is super weird. But I think the takeaways that I'm getting here is that I'm going to add... What the heck? That is crazy. That is crazy. But it's good to keep in mind, right? Like, okay, that's something we have to do. That's something we have to keep in mind. So, okay. So, I think... Hey, all good, Mecha. Thanks for chilling so far. This is crazy. We're learning some crazy shit about Lars. No wonder he's so good. Silent Entry 3+4 is like a pretty... So Dynamic Entry 3 and then Silent Entry 3+4 are both like crazy good moves. And that can basically, I guess, just be the foundation of his offense. But the one thing that I want to keep in mind is that we're not actually in that much of a disadvantage just for blocking this, right? Like, we shouldn't be afraid to take 3+4 here. And maybe that kind of defines how we defend in this matchup, right? I'm not actually afraid to block. Oh, Jin's new move. How OP is Lars Moyashi? He's pretty good. The thing that we were kind of laughing about is this interaction. This is a mid power crush, right? This is my mid power crush, right? Like, that is crazy. And then, but the funny part is this happens. Wait, he doesn't do the thing anymore. If there's like any level of like tilt on the stage or something, that'll happen, which is really funny. That's pretty funny. But anyway, and I guess it's just because Bryan has this weird like kind of mock kick quality to it, where it's like it almost feels like the hits like rotate the characters in a weird way. That's like a Tekken system thing that I'm kind of learning about now. But okay, let's come up now with a training regimen for today before we jump into ranked, right? So for starters, we're gonna do some of it. We're gonna take a few of his moves here that are going to be transitionable, right, into silent entry, and we're going to transition it into silent entry something. So the first one will be probably 4-2-1, and we'll do. We want to practice option selecting this, I want to say. So because of that, we'll start with that as our like that, and the goal is just to down jab it. The next one will be the same one, but 2-4-1-2, like that. Next one will be down 4-2. We won't do yet because it's not -5 on block, but we can do down back 2, like this one. Like that. And then we're going to have a few that go into dynamic entry so that we do something different. For this one, I'm actually going to do back 3-4. Like this. Because we need a move that we can duck. The next one is we're going to do like that, basically. Because that one you should be able to forward 3 it. What's the next thing we're going to do? Maybe this. Yeah, we'll do that. So we'll do just a few of these. So what's his? He doesn't have a snake edge, but what we'll do is the two that we did last time were. Oops, that's not what we were gonna do. Like that. I'm gonna do it slightly more clean of a block. Like that. And then we'll do oops. I think we want that one. And then what's 1+2? No. Oh, we'll do that one actually. No, not that. Oh my gosh. I'm not a Lars player at all. Oh, wait a minute. But that move is right. That move is just 3. Jeez. Okay, cool. And that is all we're gonna try today. I think that's like a decent amount of stuff. We could do other stuff, but this is like kind of gives us a single move to duck, and then other stuff that we need to like react to accordingly. I think these are fine, and then I'll train punishment maybe at a different point. But yeah, that's a good set, and we'll go ahead and jump into ranked. But before we do that, let's go ahead and do our sign-off. So if you're coming from YouTube, be sure and like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Really helps us grow. Really love seeing the new people show up. And if you ever want to watch it live, it's going to be at twitch.tv/VonTiban. That's VonTiban. We stream Tekken Bryan on Saturdays and Sundays, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Time, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Time now. If you want to check us out there as well. And you can check the description down in the channel below. Channel description below. I've messed up my entire outro at this point. That's why we're doing something new. But there's also a link to our Discord so you can stay up to date to these types of updates. So with that being said, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.